Today in this class we'll be discussing about the C value. So what is C value? C value is basically the total DNA content of a cell. DNA content of a cell or one set of chromosome, we call it C value. C value means if suppose this is a chromosome, 46 chromosomes we have, right? Or we can say it 23 pairs. So whatever the amount of DNA is present in the chromosome, we call it C value, right? And its unit is your picogram. It is measured in picogram. Chromosome number. Okay, here if you see, this is a cell cycle. G1, S, G2, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis. And this part, this G1, S, G2, we call it interphase. And we have seen this in the last class. Today in this class, we'll be discussing about this karyokinesis, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and along with this, we will see the DNA and the chromosome number, right? Now, if you see this is a cell, right? This cell is going to enter in your cell cycle. Now, when a cell is going to enter, its DNA is your 2C, right? And chromosome number is also 2N. Now once it enters the cell, here what happened, we have seen that in G1 phase the cell makes everything ready for the S phase, because in S phase replication takes place. So as it undergoes synthesis of amino acid plus proteins plus ATP, so size of the cell increases. You can see size increase. If you compare this cell and this cell, you can see the size of the cell increases, right? Now what will happen, again in the S phase, now replication takes place. That means the DNA content gets double up. Replications means what? Synthesis of DNA synthesis, right? So you can see this diagram. Initially the DNA is like this. It is 2N 2C, right? DNA. In S phase, what will happen? See here, this is a red color one, is a complementary strand which is synthesized, right? So we can say the DNA content from 2C, it changed to 4C, because you can see each of this green DNA strand is synthesizing a complementary strand which is your red one, right? Now what will happen after some time, you can see that there will be a formation of membrane here, right? There will be a formation of membrane here, and these two we call it sister chromatids. What we call it sister chromatids, right? So this is all about the cell cycle. So whenever a cell is entered into your G1 phase, it is smaller in size and the chromosome number is 2N and DNA content is also 2C. After G1, you can see cell size increases, but this DNA content and chromosome number remain same. In the S phase, what will happen as replication takes place? So DNA content gets changed from 2C to 4C, from 2N to 4C, right? Now after S phase, you can see in G2 phase also there is no division of nucleus, so no division of this sister chromatids. So what will happen? The chromosome number will remain 2N, but the DNA content will be 4C. In anaphase, what will happen? In anaphase, what will happen? A thread-like structure will come and join the chromosome at the center, and it splits the sister chromatids into two parts, like this. One part is like this, one part is like this, and here two strands, and two strand. So this separation takes place at anaphase, and as a result we will be getting that inside the one cell there will be 2N 2 and 2C chromosome here, and this 2N 2C chromosome here, right? And this cell gets divided into individual cells in cytokinesis. At cytokinesis, what happened? The splitting, it will form 2N 2C cell, 2N 2C cell. So from one cell, you can see, so from one cell it moves to your, so you can see here from one cell it give rise to two daughter cells. Clear? So here 2 and 4C, after G2 also it will remain 2 and 4C, but in anaphase there will be a splitting, or there will be a division of sister chromatids. As a result, the cell will be having a 2 and 2C cell, 2 and 2C chromosome at both the end, at one end, another end, and these get separated at cytokinesis, forming or giving rise to two daughter cells, right? This is all about your C value. right? So if I draw, if to make you understand, here I am drawing, see here, this is a cell cycle. This is G1, this is S, this is G2, right? And this is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis. This is your prophase, metaphase, right? Metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and this is your cytokinesis. So this basically is your what? This is your interface, right? We call this interface. If you have not seen my last class lecture, you can watch it, you will understand it. Interface. And this is we call karyokinesis, right? We call it karyokinesis, right? So what exactly is happening here? This in case of G1, the cell will enter. So this is a cell, right? When this cell is entering in the cell cycle, the DNA, the chromosome number will be 2n and DNA content will be 2c, right? Because it is a diploid cell entering into the division, right? Now what will happen at G1 phase? At G1 phase, I have told you, I have discussed in the last class, synthesis of all those stuffs needed for application is synthesized in G1 phase. So the size of the cell increases. You can see this size, the size increases, the chromosome number remains same and DNA content is also same. But in S phase, what will happen? There is a synthesis of DNA. So size of the cell will remain same, but DNA content will increase from 2C to 4C, right? And in G2 phase also, now let me tell you how it gets changed from 2C to 4C. If you see here, this is suppose this is a chromosome, right? Now this is having, initially this is having 2 strands, right? This is, say suppose this is a G1 chromosome, G1 chromosome. Now once it enters into your S phase, what will happen? It will start forming, synthesizing DNA. That means 2 complementary strands will be synthesized from each strand. Let me change the color of complementary strand. You can see this is the complementary strand formed by this, and this is the complementary strand formed by this. Now what will happen? What will happen is, now see here, there will be, you can see, there will be a formation of membrane like this. There will be a formation of membrane like this, and this is one DNA content, this is another DNA content. So from 2C, sorry, so from 2C, it increases to your, how many C? 4C, 2, 3, 4, right? And this we call it sister chromatids. This we call it sister chromatids, right? And so from, you can say from 2 and it changes to 4C. Clear how it changes to 4C? Then what will happen again in G2 phase? It remains what? It remains 2 and 4C, right? But in case of karyokinesis, there is a phase called anaphase. In anaphase, what will happen? A thin thread-like structure will come and attach to the chromosome at the center, right? And this thin thread-like structure will pull the sister chromatids into 2 opposite ends, like in this way. One will be here, another will be here. So you can see sister chromatids get separated, right? You can see here what these are. This is basically done by thin thread like structure, and this is what we call sister chromatids separated, right? Sister chromatids separated. So here in anaphase, you will be getting a cell like this with one set of chromosome here, 2N 2C, and here also 2N 2C, right? And in cytokinesis, there is a complete, you can say complete division of this cell from here, and you will be getting two cells with 2n, 2c, 2n, 2c, right? So from one cell you can see how many cells you got at the end of the cell cycle, 2 cells. So this is how the changes takes place. Now let's move to mitosis. Mitosis is basically a cell division, which is a combination of two words, mito plus cis. Mito means thread-like structure. What is thread-like structure? See here. This is a thin thread-like structure. Yes. So this thin thread-like structure, how this structure develops, separate the chromosomes, entire cycle we study in your mitosis. So we call it mito thread-like structure, which splits the chromosome, sister chromatids, into 2n. So mito means thread-like structure, cis means splitting. So this thread-like structure, in our biological term, we call it spindle fiber. What we call it spindle fiber, right? So the scientist who explained the, you can say who explained the mitosis in plant is known as Strasburger, and there is another scientist called Fleming which explained the term mitosis in animal cells. In fact, Fleming also coined the term mitosis, coined the term mitosis, right? So in which cells does this division takes place? This takes place in somatic cells. Your nails, your hairs keep on growing. How? Because of this mitotic division, right? So it takes place in somatic cells. Along with the somatic cells, it takes place in germ cells. So what are germ cells? Germ cells are sperm and ova. Sperm in case of male. For male we use this symbol, and for female we use this symbol. So whenever there is a formation of sperm and ova takes place, there is a phase known as multiplication phase. So in this multiplication phase also the mitotic division takes place. So where does mitotic division takes place? It takes place in your two phases, that is your somatic cells plus germ cells, and in germ cells it takes place in your multiplication phase. Don't forget to write multiplication phase, otherwise the entire thing will be wrong, because for germ cell there is a specific division, we call it meiosis, which we'll be discussing in our upcoming classes. But in one phase, that is in your multiplication phase only, the cell undergo mitotic division, right? Now what is actually mitotic division? Suppose this is a cell, this cell is having 46 chromosomes, right? Now when this cells moves into the cell cycle, after coming out from the cell cycle, it will form two cells, two daughter cells, right? The daughter cells are also having the same number of chromosomes like the parent cell, right? So as the number of chromosome is similar in both parent and daughter cells, we call this mitotic division as equational division. Why equational division? Because 46 chromosome, 46 chromosome, 46 chromosome equal in both parent and daughter cells. So we call it is a equational division, right? Now the mitotic division basically we studied in two parts, that is your karyokinesis, cytokinesis. Karyo comes from two words, karyon plus kinesis. Karyon stands for your nucleus and kinesis means splitting. So it is basically the splitting of nucleus which we studied in these four phases, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase, right? Next, cytokinesis. Cyto stands for cytoplasm plus splitting. So this is basically the splitting of cytoplasm, right? So these are the stages. Now this is very first stage of karyokinesis, that is prophase. Now see here, this is a cell after interphase, that means after G1S and G2 phase we got this cell. Now this cell will enter into your karyokinesis, that is your first step in karyokinesis. You can say this is prophase, right? So here the cell will enter into prophase. Prophase is divided into two parts, early prophase and late prophase, right? So if you see here early prophase, what will happen? This first, see here, let me first explain you about this cell. This is a small structure, small rectangular structure which we call it centriole, This is present only in animal cells. This centriole is present only in animal cell, absent in plant cell. So we can say that as this is present, so we can say that this cell is a animal cell, right? And this is your chromatin thread-like structures, and these are basically the nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane is your double membrane, right? And there are certain pores here. These pores we call it nuclear pore, right? Now what will happen, now this cell will undergo certain changes. What are the changes it will undergo, that we have to study, and these changes are very specific very specific in each stages. These are the changes which are going to happen in prophase stage, right? So what will happen in prophase, first of all this nuclear membrane will start dissolving. So there is a, you can say, membrane dissociation takes place. So if the membrane dissociation takes place, what will be cell look like? See here, this is, I'm drawing another cell. Here membrane dissociation means there will be dissociation of this membrane. So the cell will look like, because membrane is dissociating, right? Now chromatin condenses. So this thin thread-like structure, we called it chromatin. This get condenses means there is a formation of, after condenses the cell will be looking like this. It will increase in size, condensation, right? Then centriole migrates to opposite pole. If you see, centriole migrates to opposite pole. Here is one centriole present, right? There will be two centriole. One centriole is present at this end, another centriole will move to this end. So here we can say the centriole migrated to the opposite pole. So three important changes you need to understand. First, nuclear membrane gets dissociates, then chromatin gets condenses, and the centriole move to your opposite pole, right? Next, let's move to your late prophase. In case of late prophase, you will see, let me draw the cell again to make you understand the thing. In case of, this is a cell. In case of late prophase, what happened? The nuclear membrane gets completely disappeared. Nuclear membranes completely disappeared. So there will be, in this cell, there will be no nuclear membrane because it gets completely disappeared. So now formation of spindle fibers from the centriole and attached to the chromosome. Let me draw the centriole here. This is one centriole and one centriole which already moved in early prophase. Now this centriole will form some certain sort of thread-like structures, right? So these thread-like structures will be attached to the chromosome. So these are the thread-like structures, right? You can see these are the thread-like structures. Clear? And these thread-like structures are formed from centriole and it is attached to your chromosome. See here, this is, let me draw the chromosome here. This is attached to the chromosome, right? So this is the formation of, and this one we call it spindle fiber. Spindle fiber which get attached to the chromosome. Formation of ester. Ester means what? See here, you can see there are certain small thread-like structures here present. This small thread-like structure, we call it estrel rays. We call it estrel rays. So now what will happen? This estrel rays and this centriole and this estrel rays together, we call it ester. Together we call it what? Ester, right? So now you see how many esters are present? Two esters in a cell. So we call it amphiestral. We call the division in animal cell is your amphiestral because two centrioles are present at the opposite end and this two centriole will form your astral rays as well as spindle fiber. So this is the diagram of late prophase. Now let me make you understand with the entire diagram. This is a diagram of the cell after interphase which enters into your early prophase, right? This is early prophase which enters to your late prophase. Now we will see what is happening, right? So in case of this, let me first draw the nuclear membrane. So if this is a nuclear membrane, this is nuclear membrane, right? And these are the centrioles here. These are centrioles and this is, you can say, thin chromatin. right? Now this is cell after interphase, and this is, you can say, early prophase, and this is your late prophase, right? So what are the changes here? You can see here there is a disappearance of a nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane is disappearing, right? And chromosome get condenses. So condensation of chromosomes, like this, right? Chromosome gets condenses, right? Now the centriole move to opposite pole. So this centriole one will remain here, another will move to your opposite pole. This is what is happening in your early prophase, right? Next, move to the late prophase. In late prophase, what will happen? The nuclear membrane is completely dissociated. So there will be no nuclear membrane, but these chromosomes will be present. Clear? And the centriole, which has been moved to opposite pole, it will start forming some sort of thread-like structures. It will start forming a thread-like structures. You can see here, these are the thin thread-like structures. Okay, these are the thin thread-like structures which is formed by this centriole, right? These are the thin thread-like structures, right? And this thread-like structures, we called it what? We called it spindle fiber, right? And you can see here this small structures, we called it astral rays. We called it what? We called it astral rays. These astral rays along with the centriole forms ester. Since there are two esters, one is here, one is here, so we call this as amphiestral. Amphi means both side. Amphi means present in the both sides. Since this is present in both the poles, so we call it amphiestral, right? So this is all about the prophase. We have seen cell after what? Interphase. Cell after interphase moves to early prophase, right? Then it moves to your late prophase. Then it moves to your metaphase. Then it moves to anaphase. Then it moves to your telophase, and then cytokinesis. So we have seen interphase, we have seen early prophase, we have seen late prophase. Now we will see metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Let's move to metaphase. So this is a metaphase chromosome, right? So in metaphase, what will happen? See here, all chromosomes align on the equatorial plate. So you can see these are the chromosomes, all are in the same plate. If you see the last, you can see here actually what will happen, there will be you can say they may not lie in the equatorial plate. They may lie in some, say, suppose one is here, one may lie a bit down, one may lie again up. So this kind of things may happen which gets fixed in metaphase. So in metaphase, all line in a center, and this we call equatorial plate. What we called it equatorial plate, right? So all the chromosomes align at the center, which we called it equatorial plate. If you see the spindle fiber which attached, say here this is a chromosome, right? And say this is a thin thread-like structure which is attached to the, this is what I have drawn here, right? This is what is attached to your chromosome. Now this part we called it kinetochore. We called it what? We called it kinetochore. So this spindle fiber, you can say it is attached to the kinetochore, and these are nothing but sister chromatids. These are sister chromatids, right? Now this spindle fiber, you can see there are two types of rays. One is joining to the chromosome, another one is not joining to the chromosome. You can see this, everyone. See, this one is not joining to the chromosome. This is joining simple, and this one is joining at the chromosome like this, and it is moving. So the one which is joining, if we call it chromosomal fiber, because it has been joined to chromosome. Or also we can call it discontinuous fiber, because it is not continuous as it gets attached to chromosome. So we call it discontinuous fiber. But if you see this one, this is continuous, right? So we call it continuous fiber, or we can also call it interpolar fiber, because it is getting attached to the two poles, right? So this is we call interpolar fibers, right? And this is we call what? Chromosomal fiber or discontinuous fiber. So this will bring the chromosome at the center, right? So this is what in the metaphase what will happen, all the chromosomes get aligned at the center, and this is what we call your equatorial plane. Coming to anaphase, in anaphase what happened, this sister chromatid starts splitting. So we can say that there is a splitting of centromere takes place. That means centromere gets splitted to the opposite direction, and this is continuous fiber, this is interzonal fiber, this is what we call interzonal fiber, and this is discontinuous fiber, right? So here what will happen, this both will move to the opposite pole. This will move to this pole, and this will move to this pole. This is done with the help of this thread like structure, which we call spindle fiber, which we call what? Which we call spindle fiber, right? Clear, everyone? So this is what we call interzonal fiber, continuous fiber, discontinuous fiber. So the splitting of chromosomes from equatorial to poles due to contraction of spindle fiber. This spindle fiber start contracting, and it will bring the chromosome to the opposite pole. And this needs, it is an energy consuming process. This needs energy consuming process. This needs energy, right? This is anaphase, and in this phase we can see different shapes of chromosome. These shapes we call it metacentric, as it looks like K kind of thing. It looks like this K kind of thing, so we call it K shaped. Submetacentric, this is L shaped. Acrocentric, small like this, and this is telocentric with no end. So these are the shapes which we can see at the anaphase, right? Next come your telophase. Telophase is just opposite or just reverse of your prophase. Whatever happens in the prophase, everything get changed into reversed in whatever happens in your prophase gets reversed in telophase. That means nuclear membrane which got dissociated in prophase, it will start appear around the chromosome. Decondensation of chromosome. Now chromosomes also gets thickened, right? Initially it was thin, but during division it gets condensation, right? Now in telophase again it start decondensing. Astral rays and spindle rays dissociate and disappear. So these astral rays dissociate and disappear. Now in cytokinesis, this will divide. The next class we will see cytokinesis, right? So if you have any queries, you can ask, right? Thank you so much, students, for joining this session. Thank you.